Welcome back, everybody, live from ILTACON. And I now have Conan Hines as our next guest. Conan, why don't you tell the folks who you are, what you do, and where you do it?
Well, if you don't know, you should. Conan Hines, Director of Legal Technology at Free Frank,
And you're based out of?
New York.
Yep. So what brings you to ILTACON?
I just greasing the wheels, right? Talking to people, talking to vendors, talking to consultants, talking to my peers. Some of the sessions are good, but this is a way to really uh, move the needle in an accelerated fashion, get on the same page, understand what others are doing, learn from each other, and just try to have an effective strategy after I take a little bit of a summer break before it's all over.
Good for you. So for those of you who don't know, Conan also is producing very high quality, very funny TikTok videos about Gen AI. Well, legal tech. Aren't you legal tech dad?
Yeah. I was just disputing the high quality, but I am
high
doing
comedy.
stuff.
High comedy.
Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the one that you released prior to ILTACON was analogizing Gen AI to a drug deal. Well, ILTACON Gen AI vendors in particular to initiating drug deals. So
if that's what you took from it, I don't know.
Has what you have witnessed lived up to your hype?
I think actually it's a little bit tempered down this year compared to last year, which I think is great. I actually was talking to a startup and they were like, we're the best Gen AI, whatever. And I'm like, I just want to know if you're the best whatever, which you're not because you're a startup. But, Gen AI doesn't really help us. Like, if something tastes good, I'm not like, I'm not a Portlandia skit where I'm like, where did you source? Hey, I love it, love it dear to my heart. But it's like, is it good? I mean, as long as everything's up to snuff and it's natural ingredients and not some plastic in my food, which, be wary out there, then, that's all I need to know. I don't need to know how you make it. I would never buy a pure Gen AI tool, but I would expect people to understand the problem they're solving and to bring it in thoughtfully.
Yeah. So what has stood out to you the most so far?
What has stood out the most outside of just getting comfortable with being in Biodome, and I feel like I'm in a petri dish test, some sort of experiment.
You are.
What has stood out to me? I just think there's a vibrancy now, and I think what Gen AI has done us a big favor, and it's actually shown, even though it is overhyped, it's convinced law firms to like we gotta double down, triple down. And we're seeing movement in the market. And I think we're going to see a lot more investment, not just in tech, but in capabilities. And that's really what we're talking about now.
Yeah, agreed. So Al Hounsel was our very first live interview, and we talked about that a little bit. And it feels like we're in such a, I like your word, vibrant, in such a vibrant moment. And especially for those of us who have been doing this legal innovation stuff for a while, it's like, finally our time has come. Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. We knew we were important. So I'm curious how the things that you're taking away so far from ILTACON are going to impact how you're planning your roadmap when you get back to Freed Frank.
Yeah. To me, it's I'm still early days. I'm only 9 months at Freed Frank, and I had nothing. I got hired. I had nobody. Trying to get some internal people, but to be honest, out there, start building a team, and I'm trying to meet people who are ambitious, want to have some fun, and want to do some great things. So I'm really looking to team build over the next 12 to 24 months, and so we can bring in the tech, but I can't do a lot of projects until I have a great team. So if you hear this, hit me up, DM me.
Reach out. It's building a team. And he would be a great person to work with. So what are you looking forward to for the next couple of days of conference?
Well, one more day, because I'm unfortunately not going to stay for Thursday. I can only take so much. I think, it's sewing. It's just sewing it up. I've done, I think, everything I came to do. Now I'm going to relax, listen to some smart people talk, and just try to gather my thoughts and figure out, how I execute, which I can't tell you. I don't know.
You don't know yet? Yeah, you don't know yet. Is there anything you want to ask me?
Yeah. what are you hearing? What are you hearing from clients? Like not or potential customers, not just for your product, Infodash, but like what are people excited or worried about?
Well, I think one category is, can you please solve real problems for us, right? There's so much conceptual chatter, hype up there about, Gen AI, and law firms in particular, they have real problems to solve with technology that can help them solve for it. So I think data is a huge priority and a huge conversation. Getting your data structure correct. What is it? IA before AI. Very important. I think that people want to keep abreast of what's going on with AI and start tinkering and experimenting with some of those more progressive, I'll call them, AI tools, knowing full well that they have got to solve some of the fundamentals that have either just been kicked down the road because of prioritization issues in the past, or now it's time to look at foundational things with fresh set of eyes because there's new tools on the market. So I think just making sure that we're solving for their real use cases and continue to do that, and then be flexible enough that we are adaptable to whatever path they take with AI in the future.
So I feel like data strategy, or I think it was like digital transformation, was like pre Gen AI. I don't want to say pre AI. It's been around forever, people, but like it was just, and now we're back to that, right? And it's a lot of talking about data. And I think you're right. We're totally into it. We're getting our data together. We're going to make investments in that, and we're going to care about that because that is foundational and it's just so important. But after that, what does ILTA look like in 3 years?
That's a good question. What do you think it's going to look like?
No, I asked you. You can't. I said question with a question. No, it's my thing.
I'm going to answer your question with a question.
I'm hoping it's on Mars. I hope Elon builds like a big, area where we can go and do ILTA on Mars.
So Elon,
maybe it's 5 years.
Elon start investing in legal tech.
Okay. Yeah, but aside from that, I think, people are like, this is the AI revolution, and it's not. It's the legal engineering revolution. We now have better tools, more accessibility, more interest, more excitement, more pressure. So everything that we do is high value, bespoke work in the big law realm. It should be. So it's all about design and implementation. So all that design thinking stuff that's been happening, and all to get your data in order. It was like, whatever, AI hit. It's like, oh, AI overhyped, but now it's back to like, oh, but I can see how we can thoughtfully implement it. So let's do the things that you and I have been shouting out for 10 years.
10 years at least, yeah.
At least, yeah.
Okay, so ILTACON on Mars.
Hell yeah.
The Gaylord probably will have a property on Mars at some point.
Yeah, I think iManage will have the rocket that takes us all there. It'll be like an iManage party on the rocket, or Latera or something.
Okay. I'm down with this. Let's keep going.
As long as
Joy is going to be on our live stream later. So
I need you to bring this up with Joy because you can't. It's not 12 months of planning. Like, you got to get ahead of this.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, it's a solid 3 years of planning for sure.
I would think so.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. In all seriousness, what are you going to do after you take your summer break with all your learnings from ILTACON?
Well, look, I don't think a whole lot changes. It's there to, I'm, a year ago I was in a different role. Now it's I've got expectations, and like I said, it's how do I build this capability in the firm? It's how do I bring in good people? How do I train people? How do I get excitement? How do I change culture? It's a lot of things on my plate. So like I said, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help with that.
Help.
Yeah, help me.
Help. We caption this. We'll just be help, Conan.
Yeah, please help me.
Any parting words of wisdom?
Oh my goodness, haven't I given you enough already?
So much.
Look, if you're excited about the space and you really want to see like how do I chart a career path, you got to get out there and you got to talk to people and don't be afraid, but be very strategic. And don't just like mass email people. Like, pick some people. I've had some people reach out to me because they're like, I really like, hear what you're saying, and I'd love to learn more. People like us, I feel like we didn't ever have anybody. There wasn't really people that could give us direction.
We were our people.
Exactly.
Yes.
But now, fortunately,
there's more of us.
I have a little bit of experience, and I feel it's like go learn and hustle. Like it's time to hustle for real.
No, absolutely. So are there any vendors here that have piqued your interest that you weren't necessarily expecting?
Well, there is this intranet company that I was like,
who's that?
Yeah. Well, besides him, I already knew Impedash was cool. Anything that honestly, what I'm more interested in is I love seeing the boom of consultants coming out, because look, as much as I want to build a team, and we need to be scalable, and it's not going to be through all full-time employees, right? There's some really smart people out there. There's more of them coming out. When you're thinking strategically, you have to think about partnerships and how you deliver, and that's part of your strategy. And it's a great thing. It's almost, I think, sometimes an easier sell to the business.
Absolutely.
So that would be I more than product. I think you have help out there. It's not going to break your piggy bank.
Right.
And you're going to get real results. You're going to fail fast, and you're going to really benefit from some very seasoned people out there to hit those goals and objectives.
That's a super good point. I think that especially where we're at now and having to build in so much flexibility into our roadmaps, because everything is changing, like literally every time a new model is released, everything has changed, right? And so I think building in flexibility into your staffing plans and having a bench that you can call on, while not, burdening the organization with permanent overhead, is a really smart and strategic thing to do. And I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of really talented consultants that have either been in this space for a while or emerging and starting to focus on the things that you and I work on. So that's a super good point.
Can I ask, where do you, because kind of an Infodash question, because I think Infodash is doing some really cool stuff. What does the client, like law firm client experience look like? Is it this extranet, or is it something more fluid and seamless? Like, where do you see, like, in like 3 years, the way we could be? I'm not saying we'll be doing it. What could we be doing in a few years?
I know. Well, client experience is near and dear to my heart. So where I hope that we go is completely rethinking the law firm service model. So providing more on-demand services and content to corporate clients, well, clients in general, not just corporate clients. Decreasing the friction between interfacing with a law firm. It's actually incredibly hard to talk to an attorney most of the times, It takes several emails back and forth to find a time to talk, and so anything that we can do to make the relationship more integrated and seamless and cohesive between attorney and client, law firm and client, I am all for that. And I think that there's a lot of tech tools, not just AI, that can help facilitate that. And I think getting actual experienced designers in law firms to help design specifically for the client experience, definitely keeping AI in mind. So UX for AI experiences, but then also working with law firms and working with partners in particular to rethink how we engage with our clients. And true design thinking, putting the user at the center of all considerations, put our clients at the center of all of our considerations and design for those needs. And then also substantively being way more proactive for what clients are going to need, because clients are also staring down the barrel of this wave of technology and innovation, and they have to adapt their strategies and their business models. And I think law firms can be better positioned to be that proactive partner in the future. What about you? What do you think?
I always have to, preface everything with, like, law firms move slowly. I think we're going to move a little faster. That doesn't mean we're going to move fast. But I do see more of a blurred line between the internet, but not really like the internet, but the internal and the external collaboration. And I think you're going to, instead of having separate places, I think you're going to kind of have a whole, like what we need to give lawyers at least is a one
Yep.
place, a workbench,
Yep.
a thoughtfully crafted one, something that cannot be bought out of the box. Not that you can't use out of the box tools to help you craft this,
Yep.
but you need, like you said, thoughtfully designed and curated, especially for those big clients and those big work streams that, you know, really pay the bills for your firm. And you know, allow lawyers to work as they would want to, and not in this kind of like silo. Like, this is a use case, here's this tool, here's the use case, this tool. That's fine. That can all work in the background, but we have to give them the access. It can't be training. It's got to be intuitive. And I think we're going to start seeing those walls break down.
Right. Yeah. Silos. As you were speaking, I was thinking, yes, we have to break down those silos. I think we've had this internal external paradigm for so long, and it's time to shift that paradigm and make things a lot more cohesive and easier for everyone, not just clients, attorneys too. Attorneys have a really hard job, and anything that we can do to make their lives better and get them access to the relevant, contextual, timely information that they need without having to sift through noise, I'm all for it.
Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. Well, thank you so much, Conan.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time. Oh. Bye, everyone.